Dr. Stone is back in anime form, but it's back anyway.
Yep,
So,
it's been a whole year since the manga ended, and we're here to talk about Dr. Stone again.
Yeah, it's been a whole technically it had the extra bonus chapter, so it's not really been a year, but with the anime coming out, season 3, aka the best season so far of Dr. Stone. Fight me on that, anyone who disagrees. I thought it was about time we talked about it, especially since because we wanted to do this a bit earlier, didn't we, Partyjams? But I was saying, like, no, let's wait until we find out if it's got 1 or 2 cores.
Yep.
And thank God we did wait, because we got the trailer dropped the other day, and it is going to be 2 cores. So we're getting the whole of Treasure Island, which, thank you, TMS Studios.
Yeah, we got a lot of information from TMS and Inagaki, because I guess they had a screen reading, and he seems to really enjoy the script. So, yeah.
It's really interesting that we're getting the whole of Treasure Island, and also more than likely the remainder of the ship stuff adapted here, and what'll probably be like 24 to 40 some episodes of or whatever.
No, it won't be. It won't be like 4 episodes. It'll be like 24, maybe 25, but most likely 24 episodes.
The question here for you guys, since I'm basically just like the guest on this one and recording this locally, and have like 3/4 of my voice after losing my mind in the last recording, I'm curious what you guys think about the fact that we're kind of doing what Demon Slayer was doing with like the recap inside the recap here, because it looks like they're going to like touch on the Captain Ryusei stuff again in this adaptation.
I mean,
just judging about the trailer anyway.
With Dr. Stone, like every season like starts with like recap of, well, obviously except the first one, because like if you remember the Ryusui special itself, they had like a little play that was recapping things, and then characters were playing other characters, which was cute. And then the second season had started with Gen telling the kids the story of the world before and how they got to this point. So Dr. Stone's had like a good amount of recap stuff included, which, I mean, I guess it's just because it's a seasonal show, so they want to kind of like catch everybody up to speed.
Which I like the way that they do that, because it's not like just a straight up like, oh, we're showing the clips of what happened whilst the narrator is narrating it. Like having Gen do it as a story, that is just pure genius, because he adds his own flair to it. And the play that was done because the play of Dr. Stone itself was happening around the same time as the Ryusui special.
Yeah. Also true. So I do like that. And plus, even stuff from like the anime original, like recap episode, like they made Space Ramen. It ended up coming back into the canon of the story. So
I think they probably went to Inagaki and said like, hey, is it all right if we put this in here? And he was probably like, why didn't I think about this before?
I just find it a unique precedent that we've gotten to an era where we're actually caring about the audience, but at the same time, especially like how they did like Demon Slayer dirty by like releasing a 3-episode arc. And I'm not even a Demon Slayer fan, like a 3-episode like recap thing as a movie. I'm like, really? You're charging $20 admission to see 3 episodes of the anime that already existed. But in this case, like they do it in a unique spin and not a Power Rangers-esque clip show, as Luke would put it.
Yeah,
so it has a unique spin, but I don't want to see this become like a constant, so to speak, because it takes up an episode of that count, basically. I'd rather go to canon.
But it'll probably do that, because if they're doing that, if they're gonna do the same thing for season 4, they've got like in the canon of the series, they've got that set up, because you have Miyamiya. I for the love of God cannot pronounce her. Miyamiya. However you pronounce it. Her name is one of the most difficult to pronounce in the series.
I
I
don't know about
mean,
that. Minami's not
it's
too
a
bad.
pretty-ish common name, but I do get you. Names are hard, and that's why we call them like Hot Topic Chick
Yeah,
and
but
Timsnell and all that shit.
yeah, but the thing is, because we might get the if we're gonna do like how we did the reuse week special, we might get like the boat journey to Corn City as like 1 hour long special, and in like the first chapter of that journey, she's like going around and interviewing characters, so that's where they could do like the recap then of what happened. Like Suika basically says her role in Treasure Island in her interview.
Right.
And I also want to say that, like, I'm not watching as much of the season as I usually do, but seasonal anime has been doing a thing where they'll, in the middle of a season, randomly have a recap episode just put in for a week. Like one anime original I'm watching this season called Buddy Daddies did that, which for me was nice because I was catching up, so it was one less episode to watch. But for people watching it weekly, they're like, there's like only a handful of episodes out. I don't need to recap a handful of episodes in the middle of a season. I think Demon Slayer and like some other seasonals are doing way worse things with recaps than what Dr. Stone's doing, which is at least incorporating in the narrative why we're going over these events while also keeping the audience in.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think just on that little front, the most infamous one at the moment in recent memory is the Pokemon Journeys, the Masters 8 tournament, where they had recaps, but there was a reason for that, because they were understaffed and overcompensating, and they were saving all the animation and everything for the final battle of the Master State tournament. But at the same time, watching those recaps week to week, it was painful.
Yeah, for sure. So if this is doing all of the Treasure Island arc, we have basically like 2-ish arcs left to, like, 2 major arcs left to adapt. But my only other like real question for you guys is, do you want to see the non-canon canon story of Byakuya's side story adapted after this or not?
Everyone wants that. Everybody in their mother has been saying, adapt that as a movie.
I kind of would like it as like a One Piece Film Red style adaptation. Just like throw it up in the theaters, do that, and just like have fun with it, because it's a really cool science fiction-y take on what we'll get later on in the anime.
Go ahead.
But like the one thing I wish to this day that we would have got would have been that dumb little like Gundam-esque robot.
Yeah.
Which one?
The like Haro unit looking thing.
That one. Yeah.
Like, I can't like not see it as a Haro from Gundam. I want like a model of that, or an action figure of that now, please. That would be fun. But yeah, I'll let you guys kind of take the lead. I'll pop in so I can save my voice.
Okay.
That's fair. So, we did say a movie, like mostly just because it's like the perfect thing to adapt into a movie with enough material. But also, I think that's mostly just because every anime seems to be getting some kind of movie. Like My Hero gets like random, at first not canon, but then eventually somehow canon movies. And then, of course, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Demon Slayers has plenty of Jujutsu Kaisen had its prequel. So I guess we're saying Dr. Stone having something would be nice, but really, I feel like it almost works better as an OVA. So I'd be okay with it just being an OVA as well.
Yeah. I could see it being like that, like a 40-minute OVA, because it's only like 9 chapters.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what the Ryushi special was. It adapted just like a handful of chapters into like a slightly long episode. So that's what I see. But like Luke was saying earlier, more than likely the boat trip to America is more likely to be our 2024 Dr. Stone content, which I think would be nice, because I remember being a little disappointed like that the boat rides were minus the part where we were running away from Stanley. The boat rides otherwise were rather uneventful. And like Senku and Ryusu made a big deal about, oh, which route we take will take a huge difference in like how the crew will be. And it didn't. They just kind of ended up at the exact same place they would have been otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like that. I think there are certain parts of the story, especially once you get into season 4 or 5 content, depending on how they adapt it, that could really use some expansion.
Yeah, I honestly said that if we're again, like I could honestly see season 4 ending with the second worldwide petrification, because they have that callback to the beginning of the series where they have, on that day everyone on Earth turned to stone, but they had that little message. But this time they knew they would be revived. So I could see season 4 ending there, and possibly in between season 4 and 5, we have everything that happens with Suika, everyone be revived, discussing immortality with the Medusas and the petrification before heading on to India, and season 5 being the rest of the series, which would probably only be one core.
Yeah, unless they want to add anime only content, which kind of what we're praying for there.
Yeah, that's enough. We need some we need and we should have mentioned this at the beginning. There's going to be spoilers. So don't watch this.
Yeah, but we've talked it long enough that I'm assuming anyone's sticking around.
Yeah. So in terms of like anime only original content, we need more with Ibarra, definitely, and Mozu,
the Bugle Man.
Yeah, or as Shonen OG likes to put it in his videos with Ibarra, discount Jafar.
Also fair.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we could definitely do a little bit more, but I mean, it's just that with Ibarra, he was never like the most complex character, which is partially why he's, in my opinion, one of the weaker villains of Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
But I think that you're right. They could definitely do more with the Treasure Island people, because with the Ishigami Village, we really spent a lot of time with them, even though they come so irrelevant the rest of the story. But the Treasure Island people, like, they basically are just background almost immediately after even joining the crew, which is kind of sad when you think about it.
Yeah, it's like I would have honestly liked to have them cut back to Treasure Island at some point, maybe after South America, to be. Oh wait, they couldn't, because then they would have been petrified, so there wouldn't have been any point at that point.
Exactly.
No pun intended.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that there's narrative reasons, but so in this season, if they want to do a little more with that, that's fine. But at the same time, Treasure Island is also one of the arcs that I was very curious how they'll adapt, because it felt much slower compared to what we got in like Stone Wars, which, Dr. Stone isn't like the most fast-paced story, but I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, delay the progression too much.
Oh,
otherwise it'll be just like stuck with Senku in like a cave for several episodes.
Yeah, for sure. But I will say, once they get out of the I think the middle bit will be slow, which I'm perfectly fine with. Like, I've made no secret, Treasure Island is my favorite arc, because it has like a strong start, has like a middle of the road pun very much intended, but it's all for the benefit of the climax of Treasure Island is my favorite. It's like, I would argue, better than the climax of South America.
I mean, I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
Yeah, everyone can disagree with me to the cows come on, but I was just like on the edge of my seat, like just like, how are they going to get out of this? Like, oh my god, the island's being petrified. Like, how are they going to get out of this one? Like, oh my god, it's down to Ibarra and Senku, and it's just like, I was just like, how are they going to get rid of Ibarra at this point?
I mean, I guess that's kind of how I felt with like the season, or not season 4, I should say. It's too early, but with the South America climax, just because that was planetary level.
Okay, fair.
I was very curious, like, how the world would change. And remember, at that time, we were having all these predictions about other civilizations that might have still been around and like possibly mad at Senku for doing this. Man, those were the days.
Those were the days. But yeah, and also Treasure Island has my favorite line in the entire series, and it's not the line you're thinking of, like my number one moment in Doctor Stone.
It's funny because I think I was thinking that, but go ahead.
Yeah, but it's the line where after Senku gets the Ryusui gets the earring on the petrification beam, and Senku's like, "You're right, Ibarra. Guys who think themselves clever are the easiest to trap. 5 meters, 1 second." Just like the biggest F you to Ibarra.
Yeah, that was like the final conflict with Ibarra is very fun.
Yeah.
I think I just like the stakes elevated in season. I keep saying season 4, South America, but still.
I will admit, Stanley is a lot more of a threat. It's a lot more of a threat to everyone than Ibarra, because he's basically like you've seen Avatar, haven't you, Partyjams?
Yeah, both the movie and the
Not talking about the movie. We're not talking about the movie. We're talking about the anime. Like Stanley Snyder is basically like the Dr. Stone equivalent of Azula from Avatar.
I guess, but Azula to me feels more like a Xeno-esque character, because like Stanley is like more, I'm loyal to a fault. Because Azula never felt like she was super. Well, she was loyal to her dad, but felt like she was more doing it for herself than her father.
I was gonna say, like, just because of the fact that she's just like Stanley, like Azula, is just a machine, and like I am gonna get this person whether they want me, and I am gonna go out of my way at every opportunity to do it. It's like it's like you question, like, did Stanley ever sleep in those 100 days where he was chasing them?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, actually, this is probably all season 4 discussion right now. But like, I do want them to do more with like Stanley and his boat chase. But let's stick with season 3 for a second.
Yeah, let's stick with season 3. So I guess we should go into like what are most anticipated moments from season 3 coming up.
Right. Like, I mean, one actually was in the trailer itself, and I was thinking of sharing it with my friends, like my really close friends who are anime only. But then I realized like the end of the trailer had the thing that I'm like, oh wait, no, I want them to be surprised by this. Share this trailer. But then someone else put it in our personal Discord, so they may have already seen it.
Yeah,
but the moment is when like everybody gets petrified on the boat. I remember when that happened in the manga. I was like, oh, maybe the person who like petrified everyone is on this island. Like watching people's reaction to that is gonna be great.
Yeah, just watching everyone's reaction to that is gonna be something incredible. But I think my first most anticipated moment is gonna be a moment in episode 1, and that is just the revival of Francois.
Oh, why Francois specifically?
Because if you go back and read the manga, I didn't realize this until actually going back and reading it. But you see them; they get the revival fluid thrown over them. They start to break out. Even before they break out, they're like, "Give me those clothes, and I'm just gonna get them on as I'm being revived."
Okay, interesting. I'll have to reread that. I'll have to actually do. I mean, Dr. Stone was the series I was going to reread from start to finish, but then I started reading so many series, especially Jump Plus, that I'm like, I can't. But I should probably do a little rereading for season 3.
You literally just see that. It's like, oh, I'm being revived. Give me those clothes. Oh, I'm revived with these clothes on.
Yeah, now I'm doing a reread of Ancient Mages probably before season 2, and for our own project down the road, I've been reading Ranger Reject.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely let me know you're caught up with that.
I got like
one of the best ongoing series right now.
8 or 9 chapters left, and I'll be caught up.
Okay, yeah. Current arc's great.
But also as well, the reason why I'm so looking forward to everyone meeting Fran is it's just for the fact I want people to watch the series and see if they go, Dr. Stone has gone woke. Why? They have a non-binary character. They probably won't.
I mean, I can just picture that blowback on Twitter, and I'm just going to be dying inside.
because Francois's like gender is kind of like passively done.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
feel like most people won't, like the majority of common sense people won't get too mad, but it'll like it's definitely clear they're meant to be non-binary.
Yeah. It's mentioned like only one time. Like Ryusui's like, I've never bothered to ask them.
Yep.
Like literally, that's all it is.
And they never clarified, so that's how they want it to be.
Like,
nobody used like
yeah, and that's the thing. Francois is not dictated by their gender. They're just Francois. They're awesome.
They're the butler.
Yeah, they're the most capable butler in the world. You don't need anyone else.
I heard Alfred. Okay. I'm just saying, but yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that can walk non-stop for 2 days straight and then just be like, "What have you been eating? Give me an apron. I'll make it for you."
Also, like that's really great and all, but Alfred went toe to toe with fucking Superman. Okay.
Yeah, that was so awesome. In Injustice.
Oh my word!
Love it. But yeah. I did want to say, like, before I talk about my next moment, because this came to mind, in season 3. One of the things I'm hoping for, and Luke already gave the whole spoilers warning, even though we already keep spoiling everything, is that I hope there are more hints towards Psy, because like
yes,
I don't really I mean, I'm gonna reread stuff, but I don't think there were too many mentions of Psy early on.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't. Right. It was only mentioned when it was like, oh, we need a mathematician. Oh, I know the perfect person.
Yeah. So he really didn't come. He may not have even been a character Nagaki was thinking of at the time, which is fine because
probably not.
Do that. But,
go ahead.
But then again, Matt City, he may have had somebody in mind. So maybe at that point,
probably I would like it if it's just at least mentioned in the background. It's like it just in passing, like in his flashback, is like uncle, sort of maybe the head of the Nanami Corp. It's like, damn that Psy ditching on us to go to India, just something like that.
Yeah, that or just like a few images of him in the background with Francois also, because they'll be introduced. So yeah, I'm hoping for that. But anyway, on to my more anticipated. Oh, go ahead.
Because I was going to say they've done that really well with Soyuz, because we've seen Soyuz literally in the background all the time throughout season 1 and 2, so that it doesn't seem like too far fetched when he comes into the boat and be like, actually, I'm from this island.
Yeah. Yeah. And my next anticipated moment is like technically already happened, just because we saw it in the opening, which is the Y-Man reveal.
Yes. Oh, that was going to be my third moment. I think I had it up. Yeah, the reveal of Y-Man. But my second one was going to be just a simple but really impactful one. The first new picture in the Stone World, and it's Albert Einstein.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, it's a nice one.
Yeah, but yeah, that was
wait for that to be like a reaction meme all over again.
Yeah, but yeah, the Y-Man reveal, that is going to be just mwah.
Because it is kind of crazy when you think about that the main villain isn't introduced until the 3rd season.
I know, right? That is bizarre, and it just comes off as so casual, but it's such a game changer. And yes, Rex, we are speaking spoilers here, so if you're on an anime only, you might want to get out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we have actually seen it in the actual first trailer for season 3, where we had the crackling and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they've put it in the background so subtly that I think even manga readers didn't even notice it. So,
I did not notice it in the background in the Ryusui special until I think you pointed it out. It was either you or Faboyo.
Pretty sure it was me. But yeah, because like when I saw that, it was like just so great, and how they timed with the music.
I know. Why on a new night? I can't do the song.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, that part. So that reveal kind of happened, but then like what's kind of sad for me is that a lot of these moments won't go appreciated by people, just because Dr. Stone like has these huge breaks in between their anime, and like I don't think people will rewatch like we do. So yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
unfortunate, but at the same time, it'll be a good reveal for
Uh,
most
uh,
people the first time.
okay. Also, just to comment on Rex's comment. Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably should have put that in at in the title of the video.
Yeah. I'll make sure to actually do that on the re-upload for Control Chaos too. It's
Yeah.
just like
So
spoiler alert in it.
yeah.
Uh,
So Rex.
another Ichigo versus Naruto death battle moment.
Yeah. So Rex, if you've got any moments you're looking forward to, feel free to comment on them. But yeah, the Y-Man reveal, that's going to be amazing as well. But also as well, another moment that was in the trailer, the moment where we get like all 5 Wise Commanders together.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was also in the trailer too.
Yeah. I am just looking for, because I'm looking forward to the immediate like comedy moment from Kawaku, where she's like, the jury is still out there on Chrome though.
Yeah, what's funny is looking back on the Wise Commanders is like I feel like Ukio got the short end of the stick.
Ukio's honestly one of my favorite characters in the series, and he to quote Tyler, because anyone who's watching the Control Chaos Power Rangers videos, he's like the Rocky of Dr. Stone.
No, you're not wrong.
It's like you have this guy who's like set up to be like one of the figureheads of the whole kingdom of science, and he really does get the short end of the stick, and he shouldn't get the short end of the stick because he's got like the perfect radar.
Yep. And like I really thought we would see more just like of his development and backstory and everything, but he is one of those characters which I call like functional, at least by this point in the story, because what I mean by functional, for those people who've never heard me use this term before, is that a character that exists for a very specific purpose and like only that purpose. And you have characters like that in a story for reasons, because you need specific skill sets, but at the same time they feel less like a character and more like a tool in a toolbox for the author. Yeah. And that's kind of how Ukio comes off, which is very unfortunate because he was a very key player in Stone Wars.
Yeah, and to just comment on Rex's comments here, because this is live on my channel, like Ukio doesn't even have a petrification mark. That's how much he's not important. He's like literally like launched from. Isn't launch that character that the author pretty much forgot about? Vex.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The authors don't forget about Ukio. So he's not that bad, but at the same time, yeah, and also the whole Kohaku makeover, that is just gonna be something to behold.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, and also on that, since we're on that moment, it's not on one of my most anticipated moments, but I think it really should have been the moment where it's pretty much flat out established that Senku and ex-Kohaku is never going to happen, and that's when they kiss each other, and they're like, do we really have to do this? And Kohaku's just like, in her mind, just Senku, just go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a funny moment when that happens, but weirdly, the moment that I think comes immediately after, when Ginro and Suika like break out of the ship, that'll also be like a solid top 5 moment to see.
Yes, that is the only time where I can't believe I'm going to say this. That is the only time where I'm excited for poop in the series. Anybody who's
strangely relevant, and I hate it.
It is the most relevant thing ever.
Over here eating chicken noodle soup because I can barely keep anything.
I am sorry, Vex. But that was on one of my anticipated moments. Just Suika infiltrating the. There's so many good Suika moments in season 3. Not so much as in season.
It's not even like her biggest moments, really. Like
I know. Like anybody who's anime only who likes Suika now, by the time we get to the end of the anime, you are gonna absolutely love her. Like I've made this no exaggeration. Best kid character in anime and manga. Fight me on it.
And I murdered her for a skit.
And you did, and I. I got, but we got our sweet French because she got a whole arc to herself. Well, a mini arc.
Cover. Like, I don't think there's any bigger, like win for a child character other than like My Hero, but like whatever.
She literally like Deku in My Hero was like, I'm gonna save the world, but I'll need everyone else's help. Suika had to do that on her own.
While she basically blind.
She literally saved the world in the end.
Yep.
My big one for me, I know it won't happen because we couldn't get it. We couldn't get the utilization of it, at least in the redub of Evangelion, but I'm going to put something in mod stuff here really quick. I want this to be playing as like, we need to go to the moon. And it's never going to happen, but I just want this song in an anime again.
Oh, yeah. Just to really comment on Rex's comments here, the Byakuya scene. Oh my god, the Byakuya scene. That is going to be.
I'm gonna save that for a portion because, like, Byakuya brings up a whole thing with the VA as well from the trailer.
What
new voice actor?
What is your opinion on the new VA's voice?
I mean, like, personally, for me, I kind of need to like hear a bit more. I don't think they did a bad job at all. It's just like different. So I just need to see it like in context before I can be like, okay, yeah, I like.
What happened to the original VA?
He passed away.
Oh, right.
Because it was the same guy who voiced Leorio in Hunter x Hunter.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot completely about that.
Yeah, but I will no disrespect to his VA because he did fantastic as Byakuya in season 1. My only criticism is that I don't know if it's just me, but Byakuya sounded a little bit too old for his age in season 1.
I can kind of hear it, but I thought, like, just based on his design, it worked. And plus, like, his age kind of shifts a bit in the story.
Yeah, but in that point, in the flashback, he was supposed to be in his 40s, but he sounded like he was in his 60s.
Yeah, I think they wanted to, like, cap it down to one voice, though.
Yeah. So
there's a little bit more range there in the dub, but also the dub is one of those, like, you either love it or you hate it dubs. Honestly.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the dub.
I like the dub of Dr. Stone. I think it's one of the better dubs, especially if you watch the dub of Spike's Family and you hear Anya's voice. It's like, oh my word, that is awful.
Get baby!
And Rex, your other comment? Yeah, Ginro definitely has a kind of a stall to his character arc. He gets like one more good moment in South America, but I was a little disappointed like with that because I felt like Inagaki was really gonna do more with him because he had that moment like in the boat where he was gonna be a better person, and then he had this moment in Treasure Island. I thought by like season 5 or whatever the last arc he was gonna be a bigger deal, but not really.
Not really.
Yeah, I do kind of agree that he regresses a bit, but yeah.
So one of my other favorite moments that I'm really looking forward to as well is Ryusui's flashback, because when Ryusui was first introduced, I hated him for the reasons why because I really thought he was actually going to be one of those pompous snot-nosed little brats who's just going to be mooching off everyone. But this flashback was like the moment where it's like, okay, yeah, he's basically like Sean and OG calls him Trust Fund Movie, but I call him more like the Tony Stark of Dr. Stone.
Is there really a difference between those two? But like, I get that feeling of like hating Ryusei like when he's first introduced, because I was definitely on board with that as well. And I just like hate that stereotypically snobby character trope in general. I think because I grew up with a lot of like sports kids, so like, oh, I'm going on a full ride scholarship to like MSU or whatever because I throw the ball real good, and then you have like the rest of the class that are farm hands and shit, and then they're just like, yeah, I'm struggling here, man, but good for you.
Yeah, I say Ryusui is like Greed from FMA. Yeah, I can see that as well, but at the same time, Rex, the reason why it turned me around and I compared to Tony Stark is because rather than bitching and whining about not getting his way, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go and work hard to achieve what I want. And that's what I love about him, because he actually puts in the work, so that he's like, okay, I'm pompous, I'm rich, I'm snobby, but at least I have the skills to pay the bills.
Mhm.
Yep. So Ryusui, what's interesting is I was talking to like my anime only friends about Ryusui and the special, because I was wondering how they would feel about him, but they really liked him even from the beginning. So I think the anime, at least from their reaction, I think did a better job of
The
really
anime,
demonstrating like his good qualities early on. So good for that. I mean, also it could just be that maybe Inagaki got to writing him better down the line, and so they were able to do it retroactively.
yeah, they probably did, and it's no wonder why he's like, it's like he, as soon as he was introduced, he took Taiju's spot as like the sixth main character of the series.
Yeah, but I mean, that keeps happening throughout the series. Unfortunately, I say that as a Taiju fan, and I also want to say that like another like I think good example of a rich pompous character that I hated but then ended up loving a lot was also named Byakuya, but from Danganronpa. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Fuck him.
Yeah, like he is horrible like in the beginning of the game and for most of the first game, but then like he develops, and then throughout the other entries he becomes like a crucial part of the story.
I've
Really
only
enjoyed
played up to 2, and watching his comeuppance in 2 was very entertaining.
Yeah. Well, okay, I don't think you finished the game then. You didn't finish 2, did you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, based on what you just said, I can tell.
I'm going to assume he somehow lived even though he's dead.
No, well, yes, but God, this is hard to explain.
So it's like me tap dancing around SAO, but
yeah,
it is.
But to like almost a bigger extent, honestly. But yeah, all I can say is
it.
like definitely like continue with Danganronpa.
I'll get back to it eventually when it does have a sour taste in my mouth.
Fair enough. I mean, at this point, we're probably not gonna get any more entries. I say that tentatively, but yeah, it seems like the creator is just doing a spiritual successor.
Yeah,
coming on Switch, so I think
I think we're done after the borderline hentai game.
Yeah, I mean the last game, like if they made another Danganronpa after they did with V3, and I say that as someone who is V3 like is one of my favorites just in general, it would just be very, very bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Rex's comment on Taiju. Yeah, he is more of a supporting character, but in the beginning he was even designed as like a protagonist as character.
Yeah, he was, but I think you can pretty much tell based on looking like anybody now looking back on the series and particularly looking at the Fizz covers, like one that's on screen. You can pretty much tell like Senku was always intended to be the main character at this point, because he's like literally front and center.
Yeah, and then Taiju was there and very annoying for his introduction. I'm going to go propose and just shoot my shot repeatedly and be annoying. And this is basically the delivery and the dub.
And basically, say how long the series is going to be after 5 years.
Yeah, incredible foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's like the Inagaki seems to have an obsession with the number 5 in Dr. Stone. Like it took 5 years for the rocket to be built after South America. Sarika was on her own for 5 years. Taiju was waiting for 5. Like there was a lot of reference to the number 5.
I mean, the series itself is 5 years.
I know, right? But yeah, I think on that note, one of my like most anticipated moments is the reveal of the boat, the reveal of the Perseus for the first time.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think way back when, that was like one of your favorite moments for a while.
That was just like an awesome reveal, because you don't expect like what the ship is actually going to look like, and then when it's revealed, it's like that is a fucking kick-ass ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, by the way, since we're on that topic, I feel like some of the anime only bits that will be added in is like when Ryusu is giving Yusuri the tour of the ship.
Oh yeah, I mean that was a fun moment, especially because you could see like Yusuri Like those are moments where I felt like Yuzuri and Taiji definitely should have had more time with Senku because they're all best friends. So
Yeah.
like while I do agree with what Rex said that Taiji really didn't have much other goals besides confessing to Yuzu, I think being like a huge support for Senku would have made sense for who he was.
Yeah. Which again, anybody well, am I kidding? They're not going to watch this, but yeah, anybody who's a moderator at my anime list, why do you keep putting Taiju as a main character? He's not.
Yeah.
Why do you keep putting him as a main character and not Suika?
Yeah. Wait, really?
Yeah. Suika's always put support in her. Like, she's done more than Taiju.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, so the Perseus, that's another moment I'm anticipating. Another one I'm anticipating, we briefly touched upon it, but it's going back in time a bit, is when when Ginru and Suika are on the ship. But I want to talk about like the trading card game that's invented.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's funny because now there is a Dr. Stone Gotcha game in Japan.
I know, right? But I want a card game. I want a Dr. Stone card game based on these cards.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you like. I'm not sure when you last read it, but these are like gotcha cards, like they're character cards.
Are they really?
Oh yeah, you didn't put that together. Like the rarity. That's like how. I mean, I'm literally playing a gotcha game as we speak. Like the rarity of pulling like a character like from like the gambling method. That's like how like what those things were. That's why like Suika was like ultra rare and Ginro was like a common card.
No, Suika was like double S rare.
Yeah, and double S rare. I mean, I'm literally playing a team full of double S rares right now in my gotcha game.
And yeah, that's when you know Partyjams sunk a lot of money into the gotcha.
Yeah, actually. Yep. And I really shouldn't, but I did. Anyway.
I can't say anything. Like there used to be a game called Divinity War, and I sunk like $5,000 into that before it closed out. And I'm like, this is when I need to stop putting money into gotcha.
Yeah, that's smart. But anyway, yeah, the point is there is a Dr. Stone game like that now. So I kind of hope that Dr. Stone gets more game adaptations because they had like in the anime, like one thing was like a platformer, and Senku mentioned he really likes civ building games. So yeah, it needs more video games.
I would honestly like it if there was like a Dr. Stone MMO where like you're just like a random person who's woken up in the new Stone world, and you're going around figuring out everything. You're not any of like the main characters, but you meet the main characters.
Yeah, I mean, so like a survival game.
Yeah, like a survival, like MMO style game.
So like Rust, but with less slurs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It sounds like a lot like Rust.
Yeah, but so another moment that I'm really, really looking forward to is just the moment where Ginru finds out about the head of the Petrification Kingdom, and Ibarra, you get that really creepy image of him like going, "You mustn't lie now."
Yeah.
That
moment, was like scary. I remember
that when I saw that, I was literally pissing my pants in fear.
I also want to see like that when we get that first close up of the Medusa. Like I hope they do that moment like with justice as well, because the first time we see the petrification device, we don't know what it is, but it even then at that point, we already said spoilers a million times, it looked alien.
Yeah, it did look like it was from it wasn't made on Earth. But also as well, the line from Kawako, like it is based on science.
Yep. So yeah, that's another moment I really hope they put a lot into. Kind of like with when Senku had like first invented the light bulb or electricity. That kind of like slow, beautiful moment.
So no more comments from Rex at the moment. So I guess another moment that I am honestly looking forward to comes pretty much in the climactic battle of Treasure Island, and it's the moment with where Hyuga gets revived, and it's like the debate of is he going to turn against the Kingdom of Science or join them?
Yeah,
That's a
that
big one.
was because it really showed off like the characters very well too and their roles.
And also you get everyone who was a yoga fan with his scars. You get to see him without his scars, and he is a pretty boy.
Yep. I mean, you got to get those fangirls.
Yeah,
I know anything from Seraph of the End. Like, I don't want to go off on this, but it happened today, so I might do a little bit of this. Like, there was like a post on the Reddit for Seraph of the End, and it was like, "Oh, I can't believe this tweet from the author about shipping." And then it's like, that was from 5 years ago. We went through this exact conversation 5 years ago, and then the original post was like, "Oh, well, I just saw this today. Well, congratulations for contributing to the cycle." Man. But yeah, fangirls.
You gotta love them, but at the same time you gotta hate them.
Yep.
But yeah, another moment as well that I honestly this moment's probably going to take up an entire like half of an episode. How Senku survived the petrification of the island.
Yeah,
because you got all those calculations that are going through his head at the time.
Oh, and actually, that reminds me of another moment. But yeah, the calculations will be great because I love those moments, Senku. But the right after he beats Abara and he's by himself, that moment where he's alone and has flashbacks, it kind of like the first time we really got to see like PTSD from Senku.
Yeah.
I hope they do that one a little bit more emphasis, just because I think that it's like one of the handful of like very emotionally charged moments for Senku, and I think in the manga it was just like a few panels. But they can spend a little more time with it.
Yeah, because I'm on that moment at the moment. Right, I've got it on screen because it was one of my most anticipated moments. Because a lot of people, when you first see Senku, you think like, oh, he's just a stoic character. And it's like, no, he's not. It's just he doesn't show his emotions all that much. And it's only like in certain extreme circumstances where he should, like Senku. I've said there's a reason why I like Senku, and I perfectly figured it out as out. He's basically me if I was a scientist. Because I don't know, because Senku is clearly autistic. He has to be autistic.
There's no way he isn't autistic.
Yeah, because it's like he's only fixated on science, and he wants everything to go perfectly with science. And when things don't go on, he's like, "I was doing it right. I'm gonna have a sulk now." Yeah, but also as well, it's like at times I find it hard to show my emotions, like Senku, but there are times when you can't be held back, like particularly the moment where in season 1 where he breaks down at Byakuya's grave.
Yeah, that was a great moment too.
Yeah. And I really want more emphasis on that, like when we get the flashback. Like I want there to be the moment where it's like he can't hold it in anymore and he like sheds a tear. Like it didn't happen in Treasure Island, but I want it to happen in Treasure Island. When everyone's around him and seeing him, but they're not saying anything because they know exactly what it must be like for him.
Yeah. And speaking of emotional moments, this probably, I'm guessing, also on your list, but when like Senku actually does the title drop for Treasure Island, where he and Kohaku are talking about like what his father had left for him and how they have found this platinum and everything. That was also like a nice moment between those characters.
Yeah, it wasn't on my list of moments, but
okay.
It now that you've brought it up, it's like, yeah, I really do like that moment. I think it was just because like we were just coming off the what my number one moment is for Treasure Island.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I figure we're talking about that at the end.
Yeah, well, I'm at the end of most of my moments. I've got a few more, but we're pretty close to the end of my most anticipated moments. But yeah, that moment with Senku and Kohaku, it's really impactful, and I really just want there to be like an image in that moment of just Byakuya. But yeah, before we get to like my number one moment, I think we have to talk about the elephant in the room that's going to shock everyone when they're like, Yeah, we're getting this weird message from Wyman in Morse code, but the person's voice, it's your voice, Senku.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely send shocks. You think that's where the season will end?
I don't think it. No, I think the season will end, and I've got it up, so I'll bring it up here. The end of chapter 142, where they're like, okay, we've got the globe, we've got the where we're going next with Rubber City, Math City, Corn City, Aluminium, Super Alloyed, and deciding the first place we're going to go is America.
Oh, okay. So you think they will get to America, or not, they will decide on that before?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that'll be the end of season 3. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. We could probably just end like one of like the later episodes with the other moment with Senku's voice.
Yeah. Because with Senku's voice, then if we were to just end it there, then that would be like I would say like 22 episodes rather than 24. So I feel like we can include the bit going back to in Ishigami Village and reviving Tsukasa, because they'll want to end on Tsukasa being revived.
I mean, yeah, if they want to do that boat special, especially
Yeah.
then yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that would make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that's as Senku puts here. Now that gets me excited. But the reason why I don't think it's going to end here is because there's an even more exciting moment after this. Like, people think like that's your voice, Senku, is like the biggest shocker. No. We are going to the moon. That is like the big. When I first saw that, that was like the big like. I need to read the rest of this series now.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys, but that was the moment where it's like, this series I'm reading to the end, because I need to know how the hell in the Stone World are they going to get to the moon.
I think what I liked about it is it just tied Senku's like personal goal of wanting to be an astronaut to like the ultimate mystery, and I just loved how poetically that was done. I'm not sure if that was like the moment where I'm like, I need to read the rest of the series, but that might have happened earlier. But
yeah,
I have to really think about that.
Because it's just Gen's reaction just sums it up. Like, he's like trembling and swearing, and he's like, I have a terrible hunch, one that's probably definitely most absurdly correct, because it's like he's been with Senku now for a few years. He just sees Senku putting the plate down, sees his face, and he's like, oh wait, no, Senku, don't tell me you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say. And of course, Senku says it.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, that I honestly cannot wait for anime onlys to react to that moment, because that again is just going to be like one of the biggest like what the hell moments. But yeah, I had just one more moment that I really looking forward to, and like I said, it was the revival of Tsukasa, but more so how he reacts to this as well. Like, you cannot end season 3 without getting Tsukasa's reaction to "we're invading the moon."
Yeah, we got to have that moment. I honestly think the next like big moment, like, well, that was loud. The next big moment after that, because we talked a little bit about what like season 4 will have. Do we think that season 4 will end on the whole like we're repetrifying ourselves moment, or do you think we'll wait for like the final season to have all of that and that last time skip all on one bit?
I think we were saying that the second petrification itself will be like the ending point of the 4th season, and then like we'll get a special next year, like with Suika waking up.
Okay.
Yeah, because I said that if you want to have like a big, massive cliffhanger moment for your next season, then everyone being petrified in the world, that's going to be like wanting everyone to come back to see what happens next.
All right. Yeah, that would make sense. You know, have everybody just waiting on bated breath there to kind of have that moment be like, are they going to live? Are they going to, be stuck here forever?
And if there is a trailer that comes after that moment, it's probably only going to be just
statues.
just statues with drip, drop, and you just see Suika's hand having it on, but you don't see who gets revived, and that's just the trailer.
Yeah. You got that
Well, they
sad
could do it
body
that way, or they could have just Suiko wake up at the end.
That either one of those would be intriguing from a viewer's standpoint.
Yeah. But yeah, and also as well, I just want this moment in season 3 of just Ginru being super cocky when he's like, I've got my own bodyguard, Matsukaze, and he might even be stronger than Tsukasa. And they're like, can I spar with you? And he's like, yeah, sure. 2 seconds later, I submit.
Yeah. It's definitely
Oh,
a big
yeah.
moment.
That actually reminded me. Sorry, Vex, were you saying something?
That's a big moment there. Like watching the cocky Rowe brothers get their comeuppance every time is always fun.
Yeah. What I remembered was when we got the backstory of Treasure Island, Mitsukaze, he like starts explaining like what happened to his people and why they got all petrified, and then Senku cuts the story short. That's not like a major moment. I just remembered that it's gonna be funny when that happened, because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, here's some backstory." It's like, nope, not yet.
Because that
not relevant.
That reminds me. That reminds me so much of. Have you guys ever seen Fly Me to the Moon, the anime?
No.
All right, so it's basically to give you context, Partyjams. It's basically about this guy who meets this girl. It's like, I want to date you, and she's like, okay then, but I won't date someone unless you marry me. And she's like, and he's like, okay. So they get
that show, yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was called something else. Maybe I know the Japanese name, but yeah, I have to watch that one.
The English name is Fly Me to the Moon, but yeah, there's a scene later on where you have the childhood friend of the main character after he's married. He goes to her house. He has a wedding ring on his finger, and her sister's in the background just being like, how can you not know the signs that he's married here? And then the mother comes in and she's like, oh yeah, she's his wife. And then she's like, why didn't you tell me about this? And then she goes into a flashback moment, and the mother cuts her off by going, okay, we're done with the flashback.
It really Deadpool's out there.
Yeah.
And not well either.
No.
Okay, that sounded like a compliment when you said Deadpool.
But yeah, I think one of my last moments, which I got up now, and I didn't really have it at that point, but it's very, very important to the series, is when they put war paint on. Is when they recreate the scars through war paint.
Yeah, if they are going to give us the roadmap, that's how they're ending the season, then yeah, that'll be a nice point to have, because of course everyone's going to not have their scars, but now the scars will have more meaning. But kind of like Rex was saying, I don't know if you're still here, Rex, but as you were saying, like certain characters like Ukiyo, maybe they'll actually show us where his scar is supposed to be.
Yeah, because you see in this panel right here, when everyone's lined up with their scars, you see Ukiyo there. And I have literally only just spotted him. Like, I've read this chapter several times, and only now, like 5 years later after this chapter or whenever it came out, I see Ukiyo there.
I mean, he's a background of a background character, so why care?
But yeah, I feel like it will go up to, because then that will be like a sort of soft reset for like everything's back to normal after the chaos of Treasure Island.
Yeah, and when season 2 ended, they give us a glimpse of Ryusui before that we would see in the special. So I think in season 3 they're probably going to end with some flash towards like maybe Stanley or somebody.
No, I feel like what they'll do. Let me bring up one of the chapters quickly. I feel
actually no, it would be something on the boat if it's the boat.
No, I don't think it will be something on the boat. I think you're right. It will be something relevant to Stanley, but I think here we go. It will show. It might actually show Stanley in his battle gear, but might also show Sinew's castle as well.
Yeah, because I'm not 100% on this prediction, just because Stanley was like even kept a little bit of a mystery even after he started doing things.
Yeah, I feel like it will be. I'm gonna put it in the mod VC. I feel like it'll be something like this. This image that we'll see to end off season 3.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, just Sinu's castle. Like we just cut to Corn City and we see Sinu's castle.
Yeah, I can see that. Like it's one of those big scenes to where like we'll not know, but we'll kind of know some big plot points coming, and then we'll see like all the cornfields out there. The children long for the fields here, and it's gonna be really, really spooky for anime onlys.
Yeah, it's gonna be even more spooky because the second Sinu showed up, I was like, he looks eerily like Senku.
Yeah, there were so many theories on that too for the time period.
I honestly thought it was going to be revealed like I didn't want it to be like Senku's. It couldn't be Senku's biological father, but maybe a cousin, like Sinu was Senku's
like some other
cousin.
relative. We were thinking about that, but yeah, didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
It would have been interesting just because, like, we knew that Senku's Byakuya adopted Senku from a friend of his. Like, so we know that his biological dad, whoever he is like a friend of Byakuya, and like Byakuya knew Xenu through work. So even if Xeno wasn't the father, he could have been. But even if he wasn't, he could have known him through Xeno, and that would have been a cool connection. But didn't happen.
It didn't happen, but it would have been a cool connection. Like,
but still, they actually did. I'm glad they went, and this is season 4 spoilers, but whatever. At this point, I did like that when Senku brought Lillian's disc. He did have this moment with Xeno where they talked about Byakuya, because Byakuya was still his coworker who he respected.
Yeah. Yeah, and I cannot wait for season, because season 3 is just so hype, like and ends on a massive like we need to see season 4 moment. So well, not even ends it like the penultimate like episode is gonna end on like the massive like what the hell, we need to see season 4 moment.
Oh, and I mean, this isn't like a big moment or anything, but I just need to have this point to like gloat a little bit to like my friends, anime only friends. But when we get that point where, again, because I guess this will happen at the very end of the season if we get the global map. When we get that moment where again, it's like, hey, Senku, remember when we said that America is like all set up and they were going to come rescue us? Well, now we're the ones that are going to America. And then we get that flash of somebody in America. I'm going to be telling my friends, you see, look at that foreshadowing.
Yes. Oh my God. I feel like what they'll do at that point is just flashback to when Gen was imitating Lillian and saying like, hey, America's back up and running.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just going to be such a great moment to just be like, ha, see, what shows Alice doing stuff like this?
I know. But yeah, those were pretty much all my most anticipated moments for season 3. I don't know if you have any more.
Let me see. I think we talked about like most of the things by this point. I think like you gave like one really cool quote that you wanted to bring up, so I'll bring up one of mine that I thought of because I didn't think of this one. I was thinking of what moments to bring up, but I do like this quote where Senku is talking to Amaryllis about like her, backstory of how she first saw the petrification, and then Senku's like, so there are rules, and if there are rules, then there's a scientific mechanism behind all this petrification, and that means we can use it. I just really enjoyed that point there because like obviously the petrification of some science behind it, but I like the explanation that once you've established that there's like a set of observable rules, then that's how science works and you can use that to your advantage. Because I love like magic systems that have like hard rules to them, and partially because they're very scientific in nature because there are rules to how they work. So yeah. I just wanted to bring up that line.
Yeah. One more thing I really want to bring up is like, how are they going to do like because we know eventually like the Y-Man's going to have Senku's voice. So at the end of season 3, it's probably we're probably gonna get that. But when it's first introduced, what do you think What do you think it's? Are we gonna hear? Are we gonna hear the voice of Wyma when it's like, why,
Well,
why?
it's probably going to start with Morse code because remember in the opening, actually, I don't know if you remember why am I saying it like that, but in the opening, there was Morse code playing in the background, if I remember
Oh, okay.
correctly. So they'll
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
start with the Morse code and then they'll probably give like a voice. But it is true because you would think would have. It's like you can't use Senku's voice at that point,
Yeah, because
but
everyone.
maybe they will.
Yeah, but then But then it's if they do
It's
that,
not as
then
surprising.
it's
True.
not. It's not a surprise. It's not surprising. So
Yeah, or maybe it'll just be like I don't know which character. I think Gen was interpreting the Morse code, if I remember. So
yeah,
maybe they'll just use his voice.
yeah. You might be right. They'll probably just use his voice.
I also want to bring up this moment. I just remember this one because like just like Ginru got like his like big point in this next season, Kinru also basically gets his as well, where he's like gets to dress up as like a warrior and is like leading everybody.
And he
Because
gets
it's like the last really cool thing Kinru does in the entire series.
yeah, and he gets his golden spear back.
Yeah, so that'll be nice, just for the last thing Kinro's relevant for.
I know, right? It's a shame because when they were first introduced, you were like, oh, these are going to be like part of the main cast, and they really don't like. You can pretty much figure out now who the main cast of Doctor Stone is, and I've said like it's Senku, Kohaku, Chrome, Suika, Gen, and Ryusui.
Yep. And I mean, like I said, Dr. Stone handles its extended cast better than most other series. But even it has trouble in this regard because you can only keep everyone relevant so far. I mean, I'm personally still a little annoyed that Ruri it just stayed home the whole time. I mean, she did some stuff in relevant to season 3, but then I don't know. After that point, nah.
Well, it could be worse. You could be simmering like Sean and Audrey, the fact that Turquoise, aka his wife, who doesn't do a lot.
That's true. Yeah, I'm sure Sean and Audrey, if he was here for our chat, he'd be putting Turquoise in one of his favorite moments, like that one time he talks.
Does she
even like there's actually like a specific dialogue point that I just like that's like gonna be the one time show.
Does she actually talk in the series?
Yeah, because I remember there was a point where Ryusui is like getting stuff from the village, and I think she was talking to him. But yeah, I do remember there was like a very specific Turquoise line, like in the very early parts of the season.
Okay, all right.
And that's it. I don't know if she says anything up until like we come back to Ishigami Village.
Well, actually, there is one character that I'm just like they need to do, who's criminally underrated, who's criminally underused. See if you can guess who it is.
I mean,
it's
I did just.
No, it's not Mirai. It's a character that was introduced in season 2.
Oh, okay. Let me think. So. No, it can't be Yo because he gets actually some use. That'll be fun to see as well. His like training. Let's see. Minami?
No,
Minami maybe.
No. The manga artist.
Oh, him.
Yeah, everyone forgets about him, and it was like made out that he was gonna have a pretty big moment, but he really doesn't. It just seemed like
just randomly comes in like a later fight in America.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should probably just get some gag moments because he's kind of too fun to not have around.
And also as well, if there's one character that they need to drop entirely, it's Mantle. I mean, what is it? He comes on the ship and it's like the author forgets about him. Like Inagaki literally forgets that he's there half the time.
Wait, he's on the ship?
He goes on the ship. He goes with when Magma goes on the ship. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, I don't even remember him doing anything on Treasure Island.
I know, right? It's but no. Another one that really does not do anything. It's like he shows up at the beginning of the arc, and then it's like appears again after the whole fight is over. Kokyo, Ruri, and Kaku's father.
Wait. Like,
He
I don't think he was on the ship.
no, he was on the ship because when Soyuz first comes in, he's there arguing with him.
Oh
I'll,
yeah, but no, that's before they boarded the ship.
no,
isn't
no,
it?
no, no. I can bring up the chapter right now. I can prove it. It's
You
chapter
go
one.
ahead, actually.
It's chapter 102 that he's legitimately on the ship. Uh, 100, 102. Or it might have been earlier. Uh,
If you
Yeah, chapter
call
100
the actual
is.
chapter number, I'm going to be surprised.
I
let me
mean,
see.
like when we were reading this actively, like we really could do this because we had discussions and we would go back to individual chapters to kind
Yeah.
of state arguments.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Okay, so it might have been
this is
it
like
might
the
be
one series I was able to do that for.
This was your version of Red and Bleach.
yeah. It chapter 101 was it? It's one of these chapters that you legitimately see him on the ship. Come on.
Okay, well, if you find it, you can send it to me because yeah, I definitely like to see that because I do remember that speech. And again, Doctor Stone's like the one series I can remember all these tiny.
Yeah,
moments.
I found it. I've
Sweet. Yeah,
actually
send
found it. I'll here we go. So copy, put it in voice. So there we go. There we go. You can see him legitimately he's there on the ship with Soyuz.
Yeah, yeah, he is there.
Yeah, so he does.
Because I remember in season 4 or whatever, America, they were like he was eating like some food with them, but at the same time, I thought it's like, oh, that was a Mistra probably, but no, he's on the ship.
Yeah,
Why
I feel
is
like
he here?
I don't know. I don't know why he's there, but I feel. I think what the.
Okay,
I
they
think,
really couldn't just bring Ruri. I did whatever. I
Yeah.
know she has like stuff she was supposed to do, but like also they could have just kept like these characters. Could have kept her dad
Yeah,
to just lead the village.
I think what happened was that they realized, oh crap, Kokio really doesn't do anything, so let's just leave it behind in Ichigo Fridge while we go to America. Who can we replace with him? Suika. It's like it's
But
like
Suiko was already a part of the crew.
I know. No, she stole away, and then because of what she
Yeah.
did on the island, she got to come on board.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, yeah, well.
But yeah, that's another. One of the moment that really made me love Ryusui is when he admitted how wrong he was about Suika coming along. Like when he calls her a true warrior of the Kingdom of Science. That is another moment I really looking forward to seeing.
Oh, and since we're bringing up Ryusui, I forgot to talk about this one. I love the moment with Ryusui and Taiju when they're underwater. Like,
Yes,
it was just like a great way to just like bring the two characters. I think that was probably the time when I really started to like Ryusui. Because when you were talking about like when you started liking him with the flashback, I think I really started liking him like at that point because I'm a Taiju fan. So it's like you got Taiju seal of approval, you're okay about me.
Yeah, but yeah, that I think that is pretty much it on my moments.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if we keep talking, I'm sure we'll think of more stuff. But
Yeah,
basically, we
we'll
just need
get
to
to
see
like
everything.
the end of the series if we keep going.
Yeah,
we just need to see everything from Dr. Stone and then more anime filler for like the last season. That is the point of everything we talked about.
Right. For sure.
So yeah, unless you have anything else you want to say, I feel like we can end it there.
Yeah, at some point we can maybe talk more about stuff when more Dr. Stone things get announced, because in Shonen OG recently released a video that made me think about what other Dr. Stone content we could hopefully get in the future. And like you said, it could just be like more specials like we did with the Ryusui special. It could be a movie with the Byakuya stuff, or we could get more spin-off content like he predicted.
Yeah.
So at some point, that would be a good discussion I think we could do. But probably for this season 3 discussion, I think we're pretty good. And it's not too bad. It's not too long either.
Yeah. I thought it would be longer, but no, it's on the short end of on the short end of what we've done in terms of in terms of like content.
Yep. So
Yeah.
pretty good.
So thank you everyone for watching this. It'll be on my channel and on Control Chaos. And
I'll get this scheduled for tomorrow at some point for the archive up there.
yeah,
Peace for me.
Peace for me. Look forward to some more. Hopefully, some more videos that are coming up in the coming weeks.
Oh yeah.
And also thanks to Rex and Ann Arbor for joining in our chat.
Yeah, thanks Rex, thanks Ann Arbor. You guys are awesome.
Bye.